All right, what's up, guys? We are back into the draft here for our fourth and penultimate game of the day, KaBuM Esports versus Flamengo Esports, and I am joined once again by the infamous Axeman87.
Yeah, I'm not up on the lore, but is Flamengo a city in Brazil? Because I was expecting more pink.
You know what? I get what you're saying there. It's a sports team. I think they've
Gotcha.
made the
Okay.
move into the esports scene here, and they've been looking pretty good doing it. They were a very strong team last year, X.
For sure. And they look the part as well. It looks like a classic Liga team to me. So it should be pretty good. KaBuM, a little bit more what we're used to as far as the logos go. And that'll be just about all the logo talk we get on the stream. I promise. We are into the draft now, into the band phase here. Olaf taken off the table, so you know I'm sad. But Samira taken away as well, and Pantheon off the table. But Dia, what are we expecting in this draft?
Well, I'm definitely expecting a strong topside for Flamengo, and I'm waiting for them to just insta-lock Ornn and just forget about it, just to mess with me. But I'm very much expecting Flamengo to continue where they left off yesterday and put on a masterclass in the topside. KaBuM, however, is a little bit
Oh
more of a
man.
question mark.
Yeah, I'll say I'm question mark picking this draft right now. You have the blue side, you have first pick. You pick a jungler. What do you pick, Dia? Talia? What? Come on
Nani?
now. You pick up the Graves. All right, so they are going with the Talia Renekton combo, and that's a very powerful combination. We saw that lose in spectacular fashion last game, but with a Volibear, maybe the Renekton is a little bit stronger. I would like to hope so, but it really comes down to what Musie's up to is able to accomplish on the Talium. We talked about that so much last game. It's Malphite hovered here, and now it's Yumi hovered. I think we're getting trolled here, Dia.
No, I mean I'm glad that we've been taken on the roundabout, but I'm even more glad that we've ended up at Aphelios and Flamengo with an Oriana Aphelios. I can only imagine this is a team fighting comp and a little bit of a different look than what we saw yesterday.
For sure. So much focus on the top side. Now all of a sudden the entire draft has the jungler in it, I guess, but it's just a mid the bot laner, right? Very important. And it's interesting to see the first pick Oriana. Obviously, this is red side, so you get to pick the two champions in that first rotation. The Graves makes sense. The Oriana, a little interesting, right? Obviously, if you're going to pick this champion, it is up for banning. I would ban Oriana if they hadn't picked a mid laner by that point of the draft. So maybe it is a good pick, but traditionally on the red side, we see Oriana last picked as a sort of counter pick.
No, let me tell you why I think they picked Oriana here, and it has a lot to do with less what Flamengo want to do and more to do with what KaBuM want to do. Because coming out of yesterday, I would say that Everett, I would dare say, was the only good news story for KaBuM, and he was looking really good on Oriana. This now he does not get. Now he has to play something completely different. Hopefully, something that Flamengo can take advantage of, but they will be able to get their hands on the Gnar that I believe they were targeting yesterday.
I'm excited. We gonna see the Riven that we saw? Oh no, he's playing Renekton. That's right. That's right. That's right. You know what? I hope he still plays Riven. I hope they get Renekton mid. I think that'd be fun. Nope, it's gonna be Zoe going into the mid lane. Um, Someday I'll get to cast Bankai's Riven. Someday, not today
So,
though.
so I saw your tweets about it yesterday. You were pretty excited. But it won't be today. Instead, Everett though is going to be on the Zoe, that classic skill champion that we had mentioned as being picked up in CBLOL by mid laners that want to style another mid laners. Everett going into Tuts here is a little bit of a risk. Tuts very strong. I cannot stress this enough. I believe he's a very talented player. But Everett, on the other hand, is going to be the way for KaBuM to succeed.
100%. We saw last game, just as an example, the Zoe most damage in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of damage off of the champion. And the best Zoe players, I'll tell you, do not get a lot of kills, right? You donate those over to champions that are going to be able to carry you more reliably than Zoe will, because even though you're almost guaranteed to land a couple of those paddle stars in a team fight and deal a lot of damage, it's not a consistent source of damage. It's also not a damage source that you can really rely on, right? I mean, Paddle Stars get dodged. That's just the nature of the ability. But you are going to deal a ton of damage. You want to make sure you're not last hitting, though. So you want to donate those over to Desave, over to Bankai, making sure that they're getting nice and fed. Should be getting into the game pretty shortly here as the draft disappears from my screen. When we get the nice graphic here from CBLOL.
Yeah, and I, as excited as I am about the graphics, I am very excited about that charity because we saw Desave yesterday get invested in a lot and really have nothing come of it. This is, like I said just before we left last game and got into this one, this is very much a benchmark test for me for KaBuM. Given what you had on in game one, you got a chance to see how your roster performs. Now you get to go and see if you can keep that consistent and if you can level it up a little bit. I don't expect them to walk away with the win against Flamengo, although if they do, of course I'll be pleasantly surprised. But this is going to be more of a KaBuM, can you measure up? Can you identify and play against competitively a strong team?
I just love the branding from this team so much, man. It looks like a children's juice brand from the 90s.
Oh my
Just the
god.
orange and the blue complementary colors with the bombastic logo. It's so funny. I gotta love this team, but this should be a good one. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're ninjas too. That's their whole thing. They're like
Yep,
very,
yep.
very sneaky. So we'll see. We'll see if they can keep the sneak up here. But more specifically, I mean, I want to see that because you need to be controlling vision around the Zoe. That's the thing that really stands out to me as a priority whenever I see Zoe on the Rift is whether you're going to get that attention from your jungler to be able to clear out wards. That's when you start to be able to land Sleepy Trouble Bubbles from the mid lane, and that's where Zoe really shines is being able to set up plays.
Parang, by the way, we kind of glossed over this on the Gnar, which
Mm.
is controversially the best top player in the game, I guess. Uh, Depending on who you ask, I've heard certain personalities say that this is a garbage champion, but then it just kind of beats pro players inexplicably. So your guess is as good as mine, Dia, but it's a strong champion at least sometimes. We'll see what Parang can make happen here. Pretty strong top laner. We saw that clip that you tweeted out yesterday was very funny. Seeing the outplay on Dvorak's there, and maybe Parang can replicate some of that success here on a different Yordle.
Yeah, the Gnar actually slots in really well here as well. Not only to Flamenco's identity of being a top strong team, being able to keep Parang happy and healthy, but in being able to contribute to those mid game team fights. And holy lord, you can see it. Flamengo is very, very favored coming into this game by the audience.
You think so? Oh yeah, there is a blue part of that bar. I just thought it was a solid red bar. Yeah, no, no, there is a little blue thing. Shout out to the KaBuM fans. We are small, but we are mighty. Uh, I guess, or
we,
something.
we feel
Um,
for you, that's for sure. This is going to be a tough matchup for any KaBuM fans, unless of course KaBuM come out with something totally different than they showed us yesterday.
and I would be interesting to see that for sure. Not sure how I feel about the best jungler in the game and the best top laner both being ranged. That seems like a toxic meta to me. Um, Fortunately, at least they're short ranged, and one of them becomes melee for parts of the game. But yeah, this is a rough one to be a bruiser, to be a juggernaut topside, and that is the bill that Bankai fits on Renekton. Difficult space to be in for sure. Mid lane, kind of going as you would expect it. Pretty six for both of these champions. Oriana has a lot of range, but not a lot of damage before they pick up that first item. Zoe, kind of in the similar situation, but also probably shouldn't be hitting any of those skill shots onto Tuts at this stage of the game.
No, should be safe for a while, and her threat really does come in that mid game. If you can take advantage of the Zoe early, though, you can really propel Tuts to a very strong yeah, you can propel Tuts to a very, very strong mid game that Oriana normally has a pretty middling time about. At the moment, KaBuM, Mousty looking for some sort of play. We've seen this from junglers in the past today, just hanging out around bot side, hoping that something will happen. Flamengo are pretty safe at the moment, though. Sleepy Triple Bubble does land, and Everett gonna get a nice chunk
Ooh,
onto Tuts.
the rare hit there in CBLOL is why you pick this champion. Maybe other regions it's not as popular because you don't get those hits, but out here, the mid laners, the positioning is not quite as good, perhaps we should say. But you're also looking at a meta where there's a lot of very immobile late game mages, and that's something that enables the Zoe pick too, right? You get the Victors, your Syndras, your Orianas. These are not fast champions, so a little bit easier to hit those skill shots onto those champions. Parang making it look easy out here. Look at the CS difference. Keep in mind, this is a ranged melee matchup, but Renekton's got the wave over on his side as well, so things are going to even up after a little bit here. Might even flip back over to Renekton's side. Look at the roams. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Redbird and Professor both moving up. Redbird, I expect to be the ones making the plays right now, but Professor, I think ostensibly needs to find a gank in the mid lane right now. Because there's not really a whole lot else going on. Ranger is there at the ready, but the teleport here, I'm wondering what we're doing with the Galio right now. We got at least 4 other minutes until Rift Herald shows up. Professor ain't doing much unless they find a genuine fight, but Redbird's here first, and Mousty has to flash away. This is not a great look for KaBuM.
And your guess is as good as mine. We see this is clearly a coordinated move by this side. Obviously, they're in comms. Obviously, they're a pro team. But we see Galio. Okay, here we go. Tuts might have something here. It doesn't have 6 yet. Not just a little bit of damage. So what we see here, Bankai had the wave back on his side, right? It's a great position to be in when you're up against a ranged top laner because you have all that space to be able to chase them, right? You need that space if you're going to track them down. All of a sudden, flips it on its head, starts clearing the waves, and shoves the wave into Parang as Professor just cuts up to the top side. And you made the comment, it looked like they were going to take the Rift Herald. That's exactly what it looked like, but the Rift Herald was not there. So I guess they made this big play around red, and I'm not sure if they were able to get red, or anything. So it was an interesting play to say the least. Maybe they just needed a catalyst or felt that they needed to make some play before the dragon spawned.
Yeah, and there is something to be said for the fact that they have a lot of vision on the top side right now. There are no camps available, but as soon as Ranger enters that top side, they will know, and they will be able to take the dragon relatively for free and into a composition that seems comfortable fighting early. That could be more worthwhile than not. It's an investment in a little bit of a gamble for KaBuM, but I don't hate it because they didn't really lose anything.
I just like to say this happens a lot when we're viewers at home or casting, when you have access to the spectator client and get to see the whole map. And it has been this way for most of season 10 is going to season 11 now, is that sometimes supports just leave the ADC alone just to leave them alone, right? And it looks like kind of an aimless support roam, not really looking for anything, but the real goal is to just make sure Desave and Absolute are down the bot lane by themselves scaling up, and that's really the bottom line there. Dragon being taken now by Ranger. This is just a Graves classic, man. I like Talia Renekton. I like Talia strong side top as much as the next guy, but man, when you lose all the dragons, it doesn't feel very good.
No, fortunately, you won't be getting an Ocean Soul this game because Ocean the first dragon, and even Infernal going to be the next one. So not the most high priority of souls going to be coming up. Might feel a little bit better for KaBuM. Might give them a little bit more breathing room in this game, where, as you say, they have just sort of given up the first dragon.
For sure. And part of the reason why most analysts will tell you that Ocean Dragon is the strongest in the game is that not only is Ocean Soul the best in the game, but if you get first dragon, Ocean Dragon, that's nuts. It feels so good in laning phase to have that additional regen because you're spending so much time away from the base, right? And you have such a low health bar that regenning something like 5 HP means a lot more when your health bar is only 1,000 than when your health bar is like 2,000 or 1,500 or 3,000 or something like that, right? So the regen at this point in the game feels super strong too. So early Ocean Drags feel great. Late Ocean Drags feel great. It's a very strong dragon.
Yeah, it's extremely valuable at all points in the game, and unfortunately, the thing that hasn't been valuable to me right now is Mousty's positioning. We haven't really seen him get anything right now, and as much as he's getting caught out right now by Redbird and Ranger, he's just gonna get taken down for first blood.
Yeah, and his lanes haven't really been doing him any favors. We talked about the shove in from Bankai earlier. Redbird should get caught out here.
This is a classic Redbird move, I'm going to be honest with you, but a very nice Shockwave to answer back, and the Infernum puts a lot of splash damage out, and all of a sudden, Flamengo, they could just be collapsing here. Parang flashes forward, he's got the slows available, but they will leave KaBuM alone in a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1 directly after first blood into the Rift Herald. Looks great for Flamengo. Very, very good. Tut's going to eat the paddle star. Oh, so much damage there. Rift Herald is going to go down.
It sucks, but he's still okay for now. The one that I'm concerned about is Absolute, who
Oh,
just does
no.
not have the flash available anymore. Gets taken down, and actually, that is still going to be Rift Herald going over to Flamengo. Ranger did manage to secure it, so you make it a 1-for-2 and a Rift Herald. It's more even now.
A little bit more even for sure. Here's the replay here. Redbird sets up. He's looking to set up the vision for the Rift Herald. Gets Bonkai to the face here. Professor locking him
Yeah.
down. But there's the command shockwave dealing
Oh,
so
yeah.
much damage directly into the ball, following up as well. Parang is there to get the kill into Professor, who does not have the movement speed to get out of the situation. They immediately turn onto the Rift Herald and pick up their prize, but the fight restarts anew as some regen was found there in the jungle. Evrot lands that big paddle star onto Tuts, and they able to flip the fight back in the counterattack. Rift Herald still goes down to Ranger. They might get first tower off this one. Here's a dive.
Yeah, Bankai's thinking about fighting, but I think he's doing a lot more dying by going in there. Takes a boatload of damage, and now is going to lose the tower as well.
Just want to remind the folks at home that KaBuM did have first pick. They used it to pick this Talia Renekton combo, specifically the first pick Talia. And has that helped them? It hasn't yet. I suppose there's still time left in the game, but not much. We're at 10 minutes, and there's a 3,000 gold differential between these two teams. And all of that gold is stacked up here on the Parang.
Might be even more now as Parang does show up in the bot side, has the Gnar available, but just slams down onto Professor. They pick up a kill in response for that blue buff. Yeah, Mousty's happy, but he's not going to be for long.
Things go from bad to worse here for KaBuM. The back end there, Parang gets a little bit more fed, expends the teleport. Bonkai did not have teleport up, had to use it to get back into lane after getting hit one too many times by Parang. And now those teleports are kind of in retrograde. We'll be seeing them go back and forth as the game progresses, but they shouldn't have them up at the same time again. I don't think anyway. Gore Drinker completed here for Parang. This is a very popular build. I would say if you're a good Gnar, that this is really the build that you're looking for, is the Gore Drinker, especially if you get ahead of steam at the start of the game. This is what you want to be going for. If you're looking, if you're on the back foot, if you're looking to maybe scale up in the late game, maybe you're down a few solo kills or you lost your turret early, something like that. So, something like Stridebreaker, Divine Sunder, stuff like that is going to be what you're going for the scaling. But man, if you're getting started in the early game, Gore Drinker and Asterix Gauge will give you so much anonymity, right? Or not anonymity, autonomy, excuse me. You get to do things basically all by yourself. I'm expecting the Asterix Gauge into potentially Spirit Visage.
Yeah, I would be really happy to see Parang be able to continue to pop off on a very different champion than the Kennen. Even though they are both Yordles, they bring very different things to the team fight. Kennen, a lot of carry potential, and Gnar, still a lot of utility. There's carry there, but to me, the champion rings so different that I'd like to see Parang on a little bit of a new look, because it'll tell me so much about where Flamengo's going to go. He's hitting that Mega Gnar right now, but doesn't quite want to fight yet. Ends up opting out of that one, but he's just buying time for now. Mousty's all the way up in the top side once again while Dragon is spawning.
Absolutely. Parang goes Mega here. He's got Redbird with him as well. So 3v2. Ranger just solos the dragon, man. That's rough. You can't be letting him do this. Gonna be Mountain Forest here on Summoner's Rift. Bankai.
Absolutely in a little bit of trouble there. Bankai should be able to delete him. The cleanse is not enough.
Yikes.
Bankai gets
too.
himself a kill. Ranger, yeah, you think he can take him
Does
down?
he?
The redemption actually
Wow.
will do a little bit of damage, but Ranger walks away with that one.
No way. No way Renekton loses those. Yeah, please nerf Graves. This champion is ruining the game. Parang having to back off his top outer turret as he 1v3s here. Redbird backing off for the time being, is now back in the game, back for this 2v3. Potentially anyway. They haven't pulled the trigger yet. And to be honest, they lost the dragon on this one, so I think they almost have to just out of principle. But they're backing off, man. That is a lot of time to be spent up in the top side of the map for nothing to lose dragon.
Yeah, down 2k gold, down two
That's
dragons as well. Although you might be able to find something in the mid lane here if you are KaBuM. Unfortunately, Everett not able to make it happen. I don't know if you caught this yesterday, Axeman, but my favorite stat about Everett is that in 2020 he had the most damage per gold.
That's pretty funny. I like that. I
It's
like
a
that a
really
lot.
interesting stat, and I,
It's an interesting stat, yeah.
yeah, like I think you can pull a lot out of it, but for right now, I think that what I want to see is more investment in Everett because we've kind of seen the Zoe be left alone. Yeah, she's 0-0-2, but if we can set up a little bit more vision, there are picks that are available here. As much as Flamengo are adept in the team fight, most of them are pretty squishy.
100%, yeah. Here's the death bush here from Flamengo. This is a dangerous death bush as well. Absolute's going to step out for the bait, and
Unfortunate.
KaBuM are not taking it.
Ooh, Parang's on the flank right now. We might get a Parang sandwich. That's even better than a Dine Keto sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I've heard anyway. Redbird's still looking for that Zenith Blade. Not going to have an angle on this one. They don't have vision over that wall because of the control ward, but now vision is gained onto Redbird, and I think that was Tuts that took the reset there. Or no, it was Ranger. It was Ranger. So Ranger is off the map at present time. Parang backs off down to bot lane, looking to...
Weaver's Wall. This could
Yeah.
start off the fight there. Gale Force takes Absolute back to safety. Tuts, he's got the shot. That was a shockwave angle if I've ever seen one, but did not end up pulling the trigger there because he knows Rift Herald is up right now, and that's going to be the real fight.
It certainly will have to be. Flamengo looking to arrive a little late to this party.
Redbird's looking for his way in here, but Flamengo, they're just forcing them off the Rift Herald here.
Jeez.
Bankai goes so ridiculously no, and now Everett caught out, needs to flash himself. Parang
no.
up in your front line is going to take a lot of damage, but it is not going to deny the Rift Herald as Ranger walks away with that one.
Ranger picks this one up. I believe he got the previous one as well. I might be misremembering that situation. Yeah, no, I think they dropped Rift Herald top, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So they get the second one too. Plenty of time to drop it as well, as that should be despawning from his inventory. I think like 19 minutes. He gets like 4 minutes on it or something like that. But they're looking for the mid lane push. Just some minions for Absolute before resetting here. Dragon up in a minute 30 and a bit of a lull state. Interesting build. I like seeing Graves builds. There's a lot of different possible ones. You have the old ones, of course, utilizing Phase Rush. You also have some older ones as well with the Fleet Footwork and with Dark Harvest too, kind of depending on what you want to go for. What we're seeing here is one of the more popular ones. You just go Phase Rush and pick up the Gale Force for that mythic item. It's a pretty good setup.
Oh, we're gonna track it auto. Yes, that was a nice auto. That was super worth it to track. Thank you, Observer.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was good stuff. He was he was almost out of base when it hit him.
Yeah, it was kind of incredible. The speed with which he left and the speed with which Absolute's health bar yeeted out of his body as well. Everett doing a lot of damage right now, but no flash on him means the Solar Flare will connect, and he is super duper dead right now. That portal jump will delay the inevitable, but Tuts picks up a kill.
The rare Zoe death here. Zoe normally a pretty safe champion. Rift Herald drop. It's going to be that first one that might even get it before the charge goes off, which is what I like to see. Nope. Going to get that damage on the Rift Herald and drag it up in 20 seconds. It's going to be a solid distraction for Ranger to potentially solo it again.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep. Here he goes.
Oh my god, wait, Professor is actually 400 IQ. Manages to stop the Rift Herald right there, and now we will get the dragon. It doesn't look like they're going to let Ranger solo this one, but instead they just don't want to let him solo Desave, getting a little bit of kill participation for everyone here. Ranger takes a boatload of damage, just the collateral damage to get away, but Redbird flashes onto Desave. The cleanse is burned, and he goes down. Now Bankai's in here as well, but Parang is the one that has really shown up here. Professor's in a boatload of trouble, and Redbird stops him on the way out, takes down another one, and Absolute locks him up with the Graviton. Mousty goes down to the last auto from Parang. Everett tries to pick up a kill, but cannot, and Parang flashes forward, nars them into the wall. The double kill goes over to Ranger, and Bankai falls for the ace for Flamengo.
So some good things there from Flamengo, some bad things as well. I thought it was kind of interesting they dropped Rift Herald mid lane, did a bunch of damage themselves to it, and then just kind of let the Rift Herald last hit. Here's that replay. Desave, great outplay here on Ranger. Unfortunately, Ranger just has the backup, and Desave just has to run away. Burns flash here. Wasn't expecting that. I think you just kind of die. Mousy Weaver's Wall in. Here comes the hero's entrance as well. Doesn't get any knockups on anybody, and Professor goes down subsequently very quickly there. Little ever hopeful on the ultimate. Moosty burns down from the red buff from Parang.
Yeah,
and
right there.
There's the stun.
That's a good one.
Oh man. Yes, that was a good one. That was a good prank play. Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, the Gnar was probably the shining star there for me from Flamengo anyway. But everything leading up to it was kind of like, Flamengo, Flamengo. Are you guys
Yeah.
okay? What's going on?
This is, I think it might be the second day that I tweeted a Parang play as my CBLOL play of the day, because that looked really, really good right there. And as much as everybody else was there to help support, I think Redbird importantly playing a huge part of that fight.
Yeah.
That it was cleaned up. It was followed up by Parang.
For sure, yeah. Redbird getting the lockdown down on Desave, who looked like he was going to outplay that whole thing. And I think that might be why Desave took the flash there. Thought maybe I can get back to my team. My Galio is paying me. They have ult. Maybe I can make it in time. It flashes. Nope. Redbird's immediately in there with the Zenith Blade and with the subsequent stun as well. Very well played there by Redbird. But yeah, I thought it was funny. Ranger kind of dashes in on Desave, gets almost deleted, right? Almost. And Desave almost certainly would have killed him if he didn't have the backup. So it's an interesting misplay. Hex Flash from Redbird in the ult.
It's another super dead effort as well as there's a lot of auto resets on Absolute there, and they pick off another one under the tower. They're losing top tower for this, but Flamengo are getting some nice pressure down in mid lane.
Certainly, Desave gets some of that gold there too. It's just one more dragon to Mountain Soul, and Mountain Soul is a really good soul for Gnar, right? You're getting a lot of bonus resistances, I believe, when you go Mega, but also just like from the kit you're building. You're building Bruiser right now, and it's going to be helping you out as well. And just the shield on top of that too is helping a champion that kind of tries to build for the tank stats, but almost like half-heartedly, right? You're building bruiser items. There's not that many tank stats in here. You don't have Grasp of the Undying. At least I don't think so. Yeah, he's got Fleet Footwork. You can take those tank stats wherever you can get them, and he's going to be getting a lot from this Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and from the Sterix that he just picked up as well, I already didn't see people doing a lot of damage to Parang, but now there's going to be a shield on top of it that's going to give him even more health. And as much as this roster isn't super tanky right now, Parang is feeling very confident, even in mini form, face checking brushes.
Certainly, yeah. And Sterix gives him a lot more survivability, like you pointed out. But
it's another pick there. Gale Force brings Ranger into the fight, and Parang finishes it off there as he is on a rampage and takes down Mousty.
Redbird is putting in the hours for his team right now. It is real Redbird hours out here. Another fantastic solar flare dropped this time onto Mousy, and not good for KaBuM fans. All 8% of them. Here's the Baron getting taken now. Parang's got like 3,000 health, man, before shields. Like, what? Come on.
Yeah, this guy's looking really, really good now, and he's one of many members that have not yet died on Flamengo. They've been having such a good game so far. Everett gonna need to ski daddle out of mid lane, and you are gonna get into the tower as KaBuM. This is good, because remember, we're not expecting KaBuM to win this game, and I would say that it's fair to say that there is a 92% chance that they do not, but it's how well they perform within the game. And Bankai is doing pretty well on this Renekton. Hasn't actually died that much, given that he's been up against Parang, a very high-pressure laner, and honestly, even Everett has been doing quite well.
Definitely, and Everett's been getting the assists down, which is what they need to be doing. I'm sure if we look at the damage numbers, they're going to be looking pretty good for Everett. Just kind of what you're looking for in a Zoe is that like support potential, not a lot of kills, most damage in the game. Total kill participation through assists and not very many deaths. What we're seeing from Everett is lots of deaths, not very many assists. Probably got some pretty good damage, but it's not a good enough Zoe performance.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. You know, you're not really putting up the numbers that you need to on Zoe. Right now, though, Tut's looking very good on the Orianna at 1-0 and 7. Definitely playing that supportive role. Ranger not feeling supportive at all with another solar flare from Redbird as the guy does not know this ability as a cooldown.
For sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it anyway. It seems like he's using like a basic ability, just killing people with it on cooldown as soon as it comes up. Is this going to be the end of the game? I don't know. It's a 10k gold differential, though, so they got a pretty good case for it. This is a 5v4 too. See what they can do.
Its long-range paddle stars are not doing much against Tuts, though, and Redbird is always looking for another fight. Parang zoning out Bankai right now. Should be another dead crocodile in
Ooh,
the bot side because this tower is not long for the world. Just tanks up the tower shots to get this one done. The inhibitors are
jeez.
now under fire. Mid one isn't even down yet, but Flamengo just moved down here to group up with Parang.
Prank Sterix procs from a random turret shot. It's unfortunate, but the shield from that Sterix wasn't very large, as he hadn't taken a lot of damage recently. It's also fairly new into his inventory, so not a huge shield yet, but it did block some minion damage. This is going to be Soul
Yeah.
for Ranger. He could solo it, but his team is here. They don't need to be anywhere else.
They're going to get Parang another shield. It's
Yep, more shields for the Snar. More shields and a bigger health bar as well. Good boy on Parang.
No. Oh my god, Ranger.
Like
I think he can win this. No, he can win this. This is so winnable for Ranger. He takes down one. Can he take down two? He cannot. Gets shut down by Mousty.
And who does he kill? I think he killed did he kill Professor there?
Yeah.
I think he might have. That's fairly important too. You're looking at the team fight to make a comeback here, or if not the team fight, you're looking for picks. And the Galio is a huge tool for them to be able to use, right? You get that taunt down onto somebody like they just did for Ranger, and that's very competent. But having that tool taken away for the pick is not ideal, right? They get Ranger off the table, but Ranger, huge right now. I don't think he's carrying. He does have a huge, kill score, but it's kind of the Parang show here with the sideshow of Absolute. So it's not a huge deal. And he's already back up, right? It's a 25-minute game.
Yeah, he is doing a lot of damage though. The shotgun really gets to me. Like the like the idea that you could do more the idea that you can do more damage the closer you are. Shotguns have always been boasted to me in FPSs, and the fact that it's in here where he has 18 dashes as well just makes this so much harder for anybody on KaBuM to do anything significant to him.
For sure. And you're talking about like shield bow, other things that Ranger could potentially build, and it's just like, I get another dash, man. I gotta build that.
Yeah.
I gotta build that, man. That's this champion would build like Rocket Belt if he could.
Absolutely. I
Parang.
fully see it. Parang
Oh
sets to
my.
serve up the team, and there they go.
What?
KaBuM. They are being eaten like a charcuterie board here, just picked apart. Professor gets taken down to very little HP, but they pick up his 80 carry before anything else, and you see Tuts flashing forward for the last hit, and Ranger chasing down the A's here. Flamengo, they are padding the stats. They are having a good time because they are having the time of their lives in CBLOL. They have not been challenged. And then even Parang right now teleporting to cut off Bankai shows you where the priorities are at. At least Tuts and Redbird want to end the game. They want to get home early, have some nice food to eat. But Bankai, the game would not be complete without him going down. You can even see Tuts waiting
They're
for
holding.
it. The ace will come in there. The unofficial ace as Flamengo finally put KaBuM out of their misery.
Funny.